Wow, we Rocket Punch crew, we did it! We saved Punchmas! I hope you didn't mind us borrowing your sleigh, Samantha Claus.
No, of course.
I can't believe Jay Frost tried to unionize the Christmas elves. Thankfully, we were able to get early surveillance from the elf on the shelf and the Nate on the plate.
Really? That's what we're going with?
I don't know about all of you, but I, James, sure learned the meaning of Punchmas. Punchmas isn't about snow or good food. It's about telling your friends and family you love them and getting fat loot.
And iTunes reviews.
And iTunes reviews. Merry Punchmas to all.
Yay.
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Rocket Punch Radio. My name is James.
Oh my god.
I'm Samantha.
And I'm Nate. So my role was making sure the elves didn't unionize?
Yeah, you gave us early warning. You were our early warning system against any danger. All you had to do was sit your ass down on that plate and make sure that nothing bad happened.
Alright.
Nate on a plate.
The Nate on the plate.
Wow, new Christmas traditions everywhere.
My wife
I should
and I
say
were
I do
looking
not
at...
support the surveillance state that Santa Claus has set up at the North Pole to watch his elves.
It's just the man trying to bring you down. My wife and I were wandering through Target looking at Christmas decorations a couple nights back. We are decorating our home for kind of the first time, and I saw a mensch on the bench, and I am not Jewish. I do not have pretensions to Judaism. But I asked my wife, do you think we should get a mensch on the bench? And she pats me on the shoulder and only says, once our kids are old enough to start questioning religion.
Jesus. Okay. I the first time I heard about the elf on the shelf thing was only like not even 4 or 5 years ago. Like I heard about it on the radio. Like, I'd never seen it. It was never a thing my family did.
No, that's pretty much about the time that it really appeared on the scene.
Oh, okay. It's not like an older thing?
No, you're not missing out, no.
Okay. All right.
The first time I heard about it, I was personally kind of horrified. I said, that's not a good lesson to be teaching children. That's, paranoia and fearfulness? No, that's not.
I mean,
good
we
at
already
all.
teach them with the Christmas songs about Santa watching and keeping a list.
Yeah, this just amps it up to 11. I didn't really start to get on board with Elf on the Shelf until, I learned about it from my wife's parents who were doing it for their grandkids. We have another set of grandkids from one of her brothers, and they were starting to not really believe that the elf was actually watching them, because they started to notice that anytime the elf was in trouble, was causing trouble, because that's one of the things. I don't know if you know that, Nate, is like the elf is supposed to move around when nobody's looking.
Yep.
They started to kind of catch on that the elf was doing that when the whole family was in the house, and so one year they called up my wife and I, and said, hey, so we've got the kids up at the church right now. Would you do us a solid and drive over to our house and put the elf into a sticky situation? And we're like, yeah! Oh, get to fuck with children. I love the holidays.
Ugh. I don't approve.
And the
You
kids
don't
never
approve of
misbehaved
screwing
again.
with kids?
I don't approve of the particular Elf on the Shelf ethos of, you better be good because Santa's got a little narc in your house.
Yeah, we won't be celebrating that personally.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty lousy thing.
But the Toys to Life thing, man, I might be doing that. I am on board with messing with my children's heads. They texted us later and said, the grandkids were mind blown. It was great. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm pretty awesome.
Okay.
So
it
gathered...
wasn't your idea.
No, but we did a very good job of making the elf look like he was alive.
Nice.
So we gather here today It is officially the Christmas season. This episode will be releasing on December the 5th of 2016, and
Oy.
that means Christmas is upon us. We here at Rocket Punch do not condone Christmas's illegal border actions into the realm of Thanksgiving. We only recognize Christmas being within its original boundaries of December 1st to December 25th.
Is that why
So-
we built that big wall of consumerism between Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yes, it's a border wall,
Yeah.
and we're making Christmas pay for it.
Well, feel like I'm paying for it, but okay.
Merry Christmas!
Yay!
So, but we wanted to get together today and talk about a little piece of pop culture interestingness that comes out of Christmas. I'm sure, like many kids, I don't know if you guys were like me, but I was kind of glued to my television as a child. Not, just, I consumed a lot of television as a kid.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I used to really look forward to every year was just the weird Christmas specials that would pop up. Sometimes it would be original made-for-TV programming. Sometimes it would be your favorite TV show has a Christmas lesson for you. And usually this was stuff that had been filmed or drawn in the case of the cartoons. It would have been done well ahead of time, basically as an excuse for people in the studios to kind of have a lazy day off and get out of the studio for a while, get out of the television studio or the broadcast center and, go on vacation while this automated schlock played and filled our heads with garbage. But I used to really enjoy those, how about you guys?
Oh yeah, I certainly did. Like all of I grew up watching TGIF.
Oh, yeah.
When ABC had that, so they had every year they would have like a Halloween episode and a Christmas episode.
The Halloween ones were my favorite, but the
Yeah.
Christmas was a close second.
Yeah, and I always enjoyed those episodes.
This might surprise you, or it might surprise no one, but Christmas programming was never something that we watched in my house. So,
Yeah, your mom didn't really find her jolly until late in life.
well, I don't think it was that. It was just that we weren't the type, like, we just didn't have the television on for, like, holidays and stuff. So, we weren't the type of family who sat and watched White Christmas or, It's a Wonderful Life on, Christmas Eve or
Ugh.
whatever. Any of those things that I've actually never seen any of the Rankin Bass Christmas specials.
Really?
Yeah.
Never?
Well, two reasons for that. One, my mom could barely stand to be in the room. That was one thing she didn't like. And also, stop motion animation freaks me the fuck out, and it has since I was a child.
Well,
So-
and if there's any stop motion animation that would reinforce that, it's
Yeah.
Rankin Bass.
Yeah, so that was never a thing that I would have chosen to watch. So it just didn't get, shown in my house. So, I mean, I've seen Christmas episodes of sitcoms and things of that nature, but, like, we didn't have any, like, recurring Christmas tradition.
Well, I mean,
As far as
but yeah,
television.
you just said it. You saw like Christmas episodes of sitcoms and stuff. That's Christmas specials.
That's true, but I do not remember hardly any of them. They did
Oh.
not make an impression on me.
Oh no.
I'm more likely to be able to tell you the plot of the time that Full House went to Disneyland than their Christmas episodes.
Yeah, that I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't
That was
remember
that was a
one.
weird phenomenon around the time that Disney bought ABC. Just all of the TGIF people had to take turns going to Disney World.
Yeah, one time Roseanne
Yeah.
went to Disney World.
Yeah, who?
That was weird. But anyway, I did watch a Christmas episode in preparation for this episode, though.
So what'd you watch?
I ended up watching The Bells of Fraggle Rock, which is
The Bells of Fraggle Rock?
It's a season 3 episode of Fraggle Rock, which I watched a lot as a kid. It was evidently only aired on the Disney Channel. I didn't watch the cartoon, but I watched the original Muppet version of Fraggle Rock. As we've discussed this before, I had that pirate satellite.
Yeah, I
so
was going to say, was this your illegal satellite?
I got the Disney Channel, but I didn't get the network channels that showed cartoons in the morning. So I did watch that, and it has a really strange moral. Do you want me to tell you about it?
Go right ahead. Tell us all about it.
So the episode starts with Gobo, the Fraggle. Well, it actually starts with like the old guy and his dog Sprocket talking about like Christmas traditions or winter holiday traditions from around the globe, which
That's
I thought
where that
was
guy
really
was from.
interesting. Yeah, but I thought it was cool because they're like, oh yeah, not everybody celebrates Christmas. This is how other people celebrate, like, you know, the winter holiday. And he talked about the winter solstice. And Sprocket did pratfalls because that's what Sprocket do. um, but once the episode starts, it's the winter festival, and Gobo is bummed out because he's like, the shine has kind of come off the Christmas or the bell festival is what they call it. And he's like, well, how do we? I don't even know if the bell even exists, because evidently they have to ring all their bells at midnight, and that rings a bell at the heart of the rock, which is what they call the place they live, the rock. And that makes the rock start turning, and it stops being cold and starts being warm again. So it's like winter solstice, essentially.
I like that tradition. That's a good tradition.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But he's all concerned because he doesn't believe, or he's never seen the bell at the heart of the rock. And he found this
Gobo's
map.
An atheist.
He found a map, and he's like looking at the map with his friend Wembley, and Wembley's like, well, that room's shaped like a bell. And he's like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna get the bell, and then I'm gonna show everybody the bell, and then everybody can celebrate this holiday together.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the spiritual leader, like the leader of the Fraggles is called, but he comes in and he's like, I wrote some quotes down because of the things he says. He says, Gobo says, how can you know that it exists if you've never seen it? And he goes, we see with our eyes, we know with our hearts. And then later on, Gobo says, I'm going to find it. And he says, why look for something so easily found? You'll find the great bell at the heart of the rock. It may be farther away than you know, or closer than you think. And then later on, one of the other character goes, isn't it comforting to receive such a wise message, even if you don't know what it means? And I just love that.
That sounds like the typical response to Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So Gobo goes on his quest, and his friends decide to wait to ring the bell, and that means that it's getting colder and colder, and they're gonna wait until he gets back because they want to all do the ceremony together. And so they're getting colder and colder, and eventually they basically freeze solid, and he makes it to the center of the rock.
Oh, God.
He follows the map, he gets to the center of the rock, and he hears like a little bit of a ringing. It turns out to be like a ring set in the wall, like the rock wall. And he pulls on it, and then like a door opens, and it reveals an empty chamber. And there's nothing there at the center of the rock. And so the spiritual leader comes in, and he's like, you found it. This is the center of the rock. Did you find what you expected to find? And Gobo's like, there's nothing here. He's like, how can we celebrate this and believe this when there's nothing there? And he's like, I didn't say it was at the center of the rock. I said it was in the heart of the rock. And, and he says, what really struck me is that he goes, last year when we rang the bell, everybody rang their bells together, and the rock started turning and the weather got warm. What is the difference now than last year? And Gobo says, well, I know there isn't a bell now. And he goes, you didn't know there wasn't a bell yet last year, but there was no bell. What's the difference? And so Gobo decides that he's not going to tell his friends who are frozen. He's just going to ring the bells and say, oh, we found it. Everything's fine. And so he rings the Christmas or the bells, and everybody gets unfrozen because it's Fraggles. I didn't really get that part. And he decides that he's not going to tell them that the bell isn't real, like a real physical thing. He's just going to believe it with his heart and let them have their like innocence. So he doesn't pass his cynicism on to them.
So he continues to lie to keep a corrupt theocrat in power, basically.
He continues to lie in order to protect a harmless belief that revealing the lie of it does nobody any good.
Yeah. Well, and I think when I told my mom that, she said that, one, she's like, you watched this show when you were a kid? I said, yeah. She goes, that's some heavy stuff for a kid. I said, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It really
It's true.
is.
True. And
That's a-
she said she said that she felt like it was a pretty good allegory for faith, because faith is belief without evidence. You know, you have to believe in something even though it's something you can't see. And, you know, the idea of having your faith tested is something that she felt was kind of interesting in this whole story. So, yeah, I kind of came away with it like, why disillusion people when, you know, the reality is that everybody enjoys it because it's an opportunity to be together and do something together and feel happy together. So, I don't know. It was like a weird kind of agnostic.
I was gonna
It's
say
special.
maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but it's kind of been my stance on religion since I just realized that I didn't believe anymore. It's like, well, I'm just gonna kind of sit here and keep this to myself. There's not really any point in trying to sway other people over.
I get not wanting to, like, take people's beliefs or whatever. That obviously, like, for the record, I think he made the right decision. But my thing is, there's the like if I'm being honest, I'm not trying to be, you know, a real cynic here, but like, the truth is, the priest or religious leader or whatever knows for a fact that it is not there.
Well, that there's no
and lies to people.
There's no physical bell there. But like
so there's no bell.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he keeps saying is like, he's like, if it's so funny to watch this show, because I don't know if you guys have ever actually watched Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
But this leader guy is definitely kind of based on those, you know, say a lot of words without actually meaning anything type of religious leaders. That's what this guy is. And I think ultimately he's doing that because the Fraggles are simplistic creatures. That's like, they're it's all there in their theme song. Like, all they're supposed to do is play and eat. That's what they're there for. They don't have jobs and they don't do work and they're kind of useless. So he's there to keep them in this like weird utopian happiness society. And so this like episode really typified that for me, that he was like, oh yes, you'll find it in your heart, and like just very non things that he says. It's just it's really weird. It's interesting. Because the dichotomy of the Fraggles versus the Doozers aren't in this episode at all. But the Doozers, like, their whole existence is just working. They just build things. And then the Fraggles literally come in and just eat their buildings.
Guys, I just had a thought. Do you know the whole, like, Monster Island thing in Japanese kaiju cinema?
Yeah.
What if the kaiju were Fraggles?
A little bit.
Ooh, okay.
And all they do is they just, you know, come here and play in our cities and eat our buildings and then go back home.
So we're the Doozers?
We're the Doozers!
We're the Doozers.
Oh my god, we're the Doozers!
Yeah.
Fraggle Rock is a kaiju movie.
You either die a Fraggle or live long enough to become a Doozer.
Go Frag or go home.
Frag out.
What are the giant
Fraggle
trash
out.
people?
I don't know. Bigger kaiju.
I don't know. We need to watch a couple episodes of that show and talk about it. It's really interesting.
It's been okay. So here's my Christmas special trip this week. Among the things that I watched was the Muppets at Home Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this guy in there with a puppet dog, and I'm like, I know who this befuddlingly charming old man and his adorable puppet dog are. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know what it is, and I just kind of gave it up. I just assumed he was like a revolving character that appeared in all the Muppet stuff back in the day, and I left it at that. And then you're talking about Fraggle Rock and what's his face and his dog Sprocket, and just like suddenly my head just like teleported 25 years in the past to watching Fraggle Rock as a child. I'm like, oh my god, I know that man. So yeah, they actually had like 2 instances of Fraggle Rock references in that show. One of them is Kermit and Robin, is the only time Robin appears in that episode, go down into the basement of the house that they're staying in, and there's a Fraggle hole there. There's an emergency hole! Frag out! And they go and they talk about the meaning of Christmas with the Fraggles, and the Fraggles are like, yeah, we just have this one rock that we just trade around every year. Here, you can have the rock. And I'm like, why are you taking the rock out of the ecosystem? He's not going to be back next year. He's not going to be able to give any of you the rock.
The Fraggles are weird. They have strange traditions.
The Fraggles are weird.
I love them. I just love that line, isn't it? Isn't it great to have such wise advice even if you don't know what it means? Yep. That's Moki. She's the best. She's the spacey one.
Nate, you watched something tonight, didn't you?
Yes, my roommate had never actually seen Charlie Brown Christmas.
Really?
Yes. So, I don't know if she was living on Fraggle Rock her whole life, or...
Maybe she lived at my house.
Yeah.
Maybe she just hated nihilism and was fine with being okay with her life.
I went to Barnes & Noble today, and I picked up a Charlie Brown Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop-motion one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you did watch one of the Rankin Bass ones.
We didn't get to that one yet. It's only the beginning of December, all right? Gotta pace it. But so we watched Charlie Brown Christmas, and those specials are all really sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Me and my girlfriend, we watched the Halloween one back when Halloween was happening a month ago, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, so Charlie Brown is, he's trying to do his thing. He doesn't understand why he's depressed, and the answer is probably because he has seasonal affect disorder,
No, with the frequency with which he's depressed, I suspect it's clinical.
Okay, that's true. But, like, he's like, oh, Christmas should be a great time. Why am I depressed? And, also, all of his friends are fucking awful to him.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're all awful.
They're not friends. They're neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
Let's call them what they are.
Yeah, they're all terrible to him, and he gets this little tree, and they're like, "You suck." And then, also I have questions just about the whole town, like how it works. So they're in the school practicing for the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are no adults around.
No,
like,
they're they're trusted children.
Did an adult just give them the keys to the school for Christmas vacation? That doesn't seem like a thing that could happen.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. And then, he...
Oh, wait, no, I could tell you. I bet you it's one of those things like that fan theory about Ed, and Eddie, where they believe there's some people out there that are trying to push the idea that Ed, and Eddie, it takes place in like a children's like purgatory.
Wow. People have weird fan theories.
Yes.
But yeah, they do the little song and they make the tree up all nice and everything. My family growing up, we always had a fake tree. So I don't. It was never like an aluminum one. Like, Lucy wants an aluminum tree, and I don't know what that is. Like, I've never seen one.
It's literally what it sounds like. If you've ever seen like those trees, they're like fake trees, but instead of like the plastic branches that had like aluminum fronds and stuff on them.
No, that sounds terrible.
They were sharp as hell.
Oh.
Yeah. Sharp as in pointy, not sharp as in cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
they're green and you cut yourself on them and bleed, that's red. It's Christmas.
Yeah, well, the aluminum trees were silver. They were aluminum
okay.
color.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I never saw one. My family, we always had a fake tree. No pine needles to clean up that way.
Yeah, they were way out of fashion by the time we were born.
Okay.
They were like a 50s, 60s thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We didn't start doing a fake tree until, I don't know, I think I was in middle school. Mom and Dad just gave up on trying to keep the dog from peeing on the tree every year.
We used to get a real tree and then dump it in the lake for fish to swim in after the season.
Oh, that's a good plan.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I liked, there is like one, like the one funny thing in this, in the Charlie Brown Christmas special that I like is when the kids are trying to catch snowflakes on their tongue. And Lucy's like, oh, yeah. I never catch them. They aren't ready until January. And is it Linus goes, they look ripe to me. They look ripe. That's, I don't know. It's stupid, but it's funny.
I mean, there was occasionally Charles Schultz was able to get some pretty good humor going on, and I think his making of the Peanuts cartoons was a simultaneous product of nostalgia for a time very long past. I think his picture of 70s neighborhood childhood more closely resembles like 30s and 40s neighborhood childhood, just in terms of character interactions, the lack of adult supervision, that sort of thing. So I think there was a degree of childhood nostalgia going on there, and also I think that Charles Schultz probably struggled with depression, nihilism. He struggled with something going on mentally that perhaps came with a certain philosophy after a few years of learning to deal with it unmedicated.
Isn't the moral like at the end? I always think of the Great Pumpkin more than I think of the Christmas. It's Christmas Charlie Brown because the Great Pumpkin is essentially like Santa or Jesus.
Yeah.
And he
it's his faith allegory.
He just doesn't fucking show up at the end. Spoilers, I guess. And
there is no bell at the center of the earth.
There is no bell at the center of the pumpkin. And so yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but I feel like when Charles Schultz did it, it was a lot more sad.
Well, yeah, it's because that poor kid misses trick-or-treating every year.
Because he sits in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, the lesson was faith makes you miss out on life, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like I thought it was interesting that a lot of what Charlie Brown is is upset over is all the commercialism in Christmas these days, which is hilarious because this movie is from 1964.
When it's spoken like an old man,
according to the credits. Yeah, so it's like that's obviously something we hear about literally every single year.
Well, and you can't go into any store without tripping over It's Christmas Charlie Brown type merchandise,
which is also funny.
Yeah,
it's the Che Guevara t-shirts of Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever you see that sad little tree with the one red ornament, it's like yeah, that's what Charles Schultz wanted, commercially purchasable. Little fake real trees with one red ornament on them. That's what he was talking about. Oh, it's sad. Now I'm sad.
Merry Christmas.
Charlie Brown makes me sad.
Yeah,
Charlie Brown frequently makes me sad. Do you know what I watched that was depressing?
Was it another Christmas special?
Yeah, it was the Garfield Christmas special. It was depressing because I remember liking the Garfield cartoon when I was a kid, and this was garbage.
I don't get... Garfield does not hold up, like, even a little bit.
Not at all.
I used to freaking love the cartoon, and it does not even a little bit hold up.
No.
What were we doing?
I don't know.
So bad. We were so stupid when we were children. Shit. If you're a child, you're probably stupid. Also, what are you doing listening to this fucking podcast?
Yeah.
We say
Go to
bad
bed,
words
kids.
and talk about how Santa doesn't exist.
I'm pretty sure we have a fucking explicit tag, don't we?
Yeah, go listen to
Christ's
Night Vale
sake.
for fuck's sake.
Shouldn't your parents be watching you? What
God
are you
damn it.
doing?
What are you, Charlie Brown?
Jesus Christ.
That's what our podcast sounds like to children.
Yep.
We've lived long enough to become doozers. We definitely
Oh,
sound like
God.
that to children.
Yes, we have.
I think the Doozers should build a giant robot to combat the Fraggles.
They make everything out of sugar, so they're not very smart either.
Oh, is that what the
And we
doozer
make
sticks
everything out of whatever kaijus find tasty.
I suppose that's true. What was that, Nate?
are? Is that what the doozer sticks are? They're sugar?
Yeah, they build buildings out of like sticks that are made of sugar.
I always wondered what the Doozer sticks were.
Yeah, they're supposed to be sweet.
That explains why they eat them.
They're all Fraggles eat.
Fraggles are like hummingbirds, little
They're-
underground hummingbird kaiju.
Yeah, they're the worst. They're the meanest. But doozers like to work. That's what they tell themselves anyway.
Do you know who else
what
said
doozers
so and so
do.
likes
True,
to work?
Rihanna is their
That's
national
what
anthem.
slave owners
They
said.
like to labor.
The black people like work. It's fine. No, that's horrifying.
The Fraggles are kind of problematic, I think
That's
we're finding.
horrifying. They're the worst hippie utopian culture ever.
Well, you can't have a hippie utopian culture without building on the backs of someone who's worked harder than you. That's just
Oh my
true.
God.
Jim Henson was a
I didn't-
And there's Christmas for
I wasn't. Oh God, I wasn't expecting to go into this. Oh my God, I need to sit down.
You're not sitting down to record?
No, of course not.
Let's talk about something less deep and more stupid. What happened in the Garfield Christmas special? Can I guess?
So-
Can I guess what happened?
Sure, go ahead.
Garfield complained and then ate lasagna and then kicked Odie off a table.
There was no table kicking.
What?
Garfield did complain. The only time that he ate a lasagna was in a dream sequence at the very beginning. He dreamed his ideal Christmas.
And was it lasagna and Odie kicking?
No, it was John wakes him up in the morning. It's Christmas morning, Garfield. Come make your way to the tree. I've planted a trail of lasagna plates. You can eat your way there. And then he gets to the tree and they have giant presents all for Garfield and yeah.
I know you said lasagna plates, but I heard lasagna flakes. And
I did
Yes,
too.
lasagna
I did
flakes.
too, actually.
You put them in water and they turn into full gigantic pans of lasagna.
I
That's
was
just
thinking
amazing.
I was
love
thinking like a
technology.
cereal that you pour milk over
Oh,
and then you
God.
have a bowl of lasagna.
They stay crunchy even in milk.
Yeah,
Oh,
crunchy lasagna cereal.
That sounds disgusting.
If Garfield had a cereal and it wasn't lasagna flavored, what the fuck was happening in the 80s?
I believe he did, and I believe it wasn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not right. We had ghost flavored high C, and we had ooze flavored pies. Why, for turtles, why did not we not have
And we had
freaking
cardboard
lasagna
flavored Nintendo cereal.
This has gone off the rails. Okay, so after the
So
dream
after that,
sequence-
Evidently, every year, John takes Garfield to go hang out with his family on the farm for Christmas. And they force their dad to do embarrassing things like read Binky the Clown books and just to hang out. And John's brother is surprisingly a bigger loser than John. I know John was supposed to be kind of like the punchline for the whole series and, oh, her, John's such a loser. But dude, fucking his brother still lives at home and is clearly an older man. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
well,
Doc Boy was the original millennial.
what's his name?
Doc Boy.
His name is Doc Boy?
It's a nickname or something.
That's what they call him?
Yeah, it's terrible.
John's brother?
Yeah, the first words out of Doc Boy's mouth is, "Oh, do you have to call me that every year?"
Wow.
That is a
Like, and he's a
terrible
big,
nickname.
stocky, balding man with a really high-pitched voice.
Genuinely, James, you could be making all of this up, but I am believing it 100%.
Good.
It sounds like a Garfield fever dream you had, though.
Oh, no, it was terrible. It was just friggin'
Did
awful.
you eat some Garfield
then,
cereal
like-
right before bed?
I don't know. I mean, like, the deal is like, at the beginning, they're setting it up like, Garfield's so selfish, he doesn't understand the meaning of Christmas, and then it's just 20 minutes of wacky hijinks, and randomly, Garfield gets it and has a moment of, aw. And, like, nobody can hear him, because he's a cat, and he's just inner monologuing all of his dialogue, except they all act like they can understand him sometimes. So, like, the cartoon was always kind of inconsistent about that.
I always
problematic.
wondered, yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Sometimes-
It's bad. It's bad.
Sometimes he can, but sometimes he can't.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
Well-
It's terrible. I can't recommend it. I cannot. It doesn't hold up.
Is Odie or Normal in this episode?
Odie is in this episode, and he, like, basically the only thing he does is he makes Garfield like a back scratching pole for Christmas, and that softens Garfield's crusty baked on lasagna spot of a heart.
To be fair, Odie is his only family.
Yeah, basically him and John. And then like Garfield gifts John's grandma with the love letters that he found, which are like actually friggin' like, these are sex letters that John's grandpa gave to her when they were dating. 'Cause like
What?
they're like, she starts to read them and then she stops, and John's mom is like, well, can't you keep going? And John's grandma straight up scolds her about, like, no, they're sex letters. They are letters involving sex in a Garfield cartoon from the 80s that we watched when we were like 4.
I feel like you got pranked. If you
Yeah.
found this on the internet, that this was like recut with new dialogue or something.
Nope. It was still Lorenzo music and everything that comes with it. It was so bad.
Wow.
But that's kind of the thing about, Christmas specials, is that most of them, especially the ones where, like, this is a special Christmas episode of XYZ show that runs all year, most of them were terrible because it was, like, attacked on, like, it's Christmas, kind of like, find the meaning of Christmas. And they were pretty terrible, and we loved them anyway, and I'm pretty sure that 5-year-old James would still watch the shit out of the Garfield Christmas special because I was a child and I had no taste.
I think 35-year-old Samantha is gonna go seek it out because
It's
this
on YouTube.
sounds insane.
It's free on YouTube.
It sounds crazy.
I don't think I can stand to watch any more terrible stuff today.
Well, at least this one, well, it'll be sad, but in a completely different way, Nate.
A completely different way.
I would have started with the Grinch if I were you, Nate. To get yourself the Christmas cheer. At least then you got some good animation and that delightful voiceover. Who is it? Boris Karloff doing the voiceover?
No, it is Boris Karloff. I was gonna say it's Boris Karloff.
It's quite good.
It is. It's very good, and it still holds up. Even as an adult, I still enjoy me some Grinch, which, after watching the Garfield Christmas special, has made me realize it's not just nostalgia that makes me still enjoy watching The Grinch That Saved Christmas.
No, it's a good show. It's
Yeah,
like a
I always
legitimately
liked
good
it.
show.
There was a sequel,
To what?
the Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
What was it a sequel to, James?
No. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas had a sequel.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Is that like canon? I don't.
You're gonna
Yes.
I don't
you're gonna have to
recognize this.
provide more information than that. You can't just put something like that out there and then not further explain yourself.
All right, here we go. Okay. Halloween is Grinch Night.
Stop.
Initial release, October 29th, 1977, director Gerard Baldwin. It was broadcast on ABC originally.
Give me some of that plot synopsis from the Wikipedia page.
All right, let's
please.
see. It has a 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Really?
What?
The summary is, the evil Grinch who stole Christmas is back to steal Halloween. Apparently, he didn't learn his lesson. It's Grinch night, and
Wow.
all over Whoville, a horrible storm has started which gives the Grinch a chance to have some fun. But he's soon foiled by a young boy who's on his way to the euphemism. Euphemism. Euphamism.
Yeah, euphemism.
That's not how I spell it.
Well, that's incorrect. Well, they're spelling it incorrectly. Yes, it's a Seussism.
That was the synopsis written by RoboCop TNG 986127.
Hey, thank you, RoboCop, for cluing us into the weird Berenstain Bears universe you apparently live in. This is insane. Why have I never heard of this before?
I only just learned about it last October.
Also, I call bullshit because Whoville celebrates Christmas all the time. That is their shtick. It is Christmas every fucking day in Whoville.
No,
Yeah.
it isn't. That's the reason why the Grinch was so irritated with it only coming once a year.
Yeah, but they celebrate it all the time. They're always getting ready for Christmas. It is Christmas Town, USA up in there.
Oh, incidentally, Boris Karloff did not reprise his role as the Grinch. He was replaced by Hans Conried.
Who did the voiceover? If Boris Karloff was the voice of the Grinch, who did the voiceover? Because it was two different people.
It was the same.
He was the same?
Mhm.
All right. I believe you. I'm not looking at the IMDb page.
Yeah. No.
I can't handle the revelations we're having tonight, James. I can't believe you just fucking put in the universe. You just reminded the me that there is a Grinch Halloween special where his heart evidently ungrew 2 sizes.
Yeah, it grew 2 sizes and then it shrank right back down because fuck Halloween. To be fair, if somebody had started a horrible holiday named after me, I would probably be pretty sore about it too. Because after Christmas, he's all like, hey guys, I'm a part of the family now. What's up? We're having a good time. It's all great. It's great. And then the next year, Grinch night comes along and he's like, the fuck, guys? I thought we were bros.
Yeah, 10 months later, they're like, we tricked you. We actually
Yeah.
think you suck.
The Who's are assholes.
Yeah. Wait, okay. I feel like I want to see a screenshot of what the Grinch dresses Max up in for this Halloween episode. Because
Well, let me see if I can find a picture.
one of the best things about the Grinch Who Stole Christmas is Max the dog and his little
Little reindeer horns that tip
His
him over.
reindeer-
Ryan, you're
Yeah.
dying.
yeah, his one stick tied to the center of his forehead. It's delightful. Those Seuss specials were really good, but I am questioning the quality of this Halloween episode. We're getting off track. Is there
Apparently,
Yes, we are.
apparently there was a sequel to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
Yes, there was.
in which he goes back in time to save the new year from the dinosaurs or something. Or there's dinosaurs, I guess. I don't know.
Did
Yeah, did you know
dinosaurs
the
have a
dinosaurs-
Christmas episode?
Did you know the dinosaurs celebrate Christmas? Because they do.
It's pre-Christmas.
Yeah.
Ah.
Anyways, if anybody is
Smithy, you can still get pregnant from pre-Christmas.
You're so gross. Oh my god, don't make me laugh like that. I hate myself for laughing at your gross joke.
Yes.
You're terrible.
And
Oh,
Nate's
that-
just
That was
disappointed
the
in me.
soul leaving Nate's body.
Yep.
You've done terrible things to me tonight. You've ruined Christmas forever.
Press X to talk inside.
Anyways, there's a new Honest Trailers that came out. I think it was just last week about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really funny.
We're not affiliated with them in any way, but it
We
is
would
hilarious.
be. We would like to be, but we're not.
We would very much like to be.
Yeah. I don't
So,
know.
hey, Honest Trailers guy, just give us a call.
Yeah, right. So for Christmas, what we I don't know. Do they do Christmas episodes anymore? Like
I think.
I'm assuming the last Christmas
I assume
episode
so.
that I saw. I mean, there's always the Doctor Who Christmas episodes.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
I've not been a Who fan for several years, but I still enjoy the Christmas episodes.
I think my favorite one is the one that has a giant mech in it in Victorian England. That one's probably the most fun.
And yet modern day people don't remember that.
There's a reason for that.
Modern day
Oh, yeah.
people? Oh,
But, yeah.
you mean in the canonical show?
Yeah.
There are, yes, that is a recurring theme in Doctor Who, is like, why don't people remember shit? And it's like, well, sometimes they accept that it was just like a mass hallucination caused by terrorists, and sometimes it's written out of the historical records, and then at the end of the first season of 11, they, the entire universe gets reset.
Yeah, that happens like twice in the new seasons. As I
Yeah,
recall.
and you find out, yeah, exactly, and you find out there's like this thing that's been going through. Spoilers for like 4 or 5-year-old episodes of Doctor Who, I guess. But
And if there's anything that people who've been following comics will tell you, it's that if you have to reset the universe, you've written yourself into a corner and need to find a better writer.
exactly, and it wasn't even a good reset. Like, it was not the strongest of the season finales by far.
No.
I think that's the season that Moffat officially took over.
Mm.
That's
This
a
is-
whole other conversation.
Yeah,
But
this
yeah,
is
this
the
is-
wrong episode to talk about our Doctor Who feelings.
Yeah.
I did pick up the season 9 from Best Buy on Black Friday though.
Oh yeah,
Got the whole season
that's
for $20. So
nice. The Christmas episodes of Doctor Who are usually pretty fun. I can't.
And I'm certain there are other, Christmas episodes still going around. I don't know. My wife and I have been hipster cord cutters for about 8 years now. Not because we're on the cutting edge of trends, but just because cable's friggin' expensive,
Yes,
man.
it
We have
is.
other things we had to pay for.
I don't know. I feel like comedy shows are more likely to do a Christmas episode. You're gonna get Christmas episodes of those crime procedurals that are gonna be really sad and upsetting.
Yeah.
But they're not notable in any way. The thing about Christmas is that it happens every year. So if they do a Christmas episode every year and it's a not very notable show to begin with, it's gonna fade from my consciousness like on December 25th, like 8 p.m. Like, Christmas didn't happen after. It's like, I'm over it. If I hear fucking Christmas music on December 26th, it's the end of the world. I will hit the reset button. So,
And then we'll get a new writer.
yeah, hopefully. God, hopefully.
Oh,
Shit,
God.
where is the reset button?
Yeah, this plot has really jumped the shark
Yes,
this year.
I need a new 52, like, immediately.
Hey, I'm down for that. Superman got he got a serious outfit upgrade with the new 52.
You
So
pulled it up.
next week we're going to be doing a real quick pocket punch to talk about our feelings on Christmas music, cause we have some. Samantha and I in particular, as two retail veterans.
And
we have
Nate as well, I'm sure.
Nate. Yeah,
I'm sure you
we
have feelings.
we have the feelings on Christmas music.
I also have
And
feelings
then-
on It's a Wonderful Life, which I was promised I would get to share on that episode, so
I promised no such thing.
you definitely did. I got receipts.
So that will be coming out Monday, December the 12th. On the 19th, we will be doing a spoiler fest for Star Wars Rogue One.
That's pretty exciting.
We will be talking about that and having a good time with it.
Yes, we will.
And then coming out Monday, the 26th, on Boxing Day, we're going to be having a boxing match where we talk about the Rocket Punch best movies and games of 2016.
That is exciting too. So if you have a pick, let us know. But what was your favorite shit this year? And we will talk about it. We definitely have some opinions, I feel, that we're ready to share.
Oh, yes.
And
So-
we'd love you to tell us either on Twitter at Rocket Punch RDO or in the Grown Ass Geeks group on Facebook. So, something that we would like to start doing at the end of every episode is taking a brief moment to talk about what we've been consuming over the last week, things we've been reading, what we've been watching, or any games we've been playing. So, Nate, I thought I'd let you go first today.
Okay, well, I actually, on Black Friday, I picked up Titanfall 2. It was half off. It was $30. So,
Yeah, fire sale.
yeah, so I definitely, I really enjoyed the first game. I did some streams of it last year. No, earlier this year for March of the Mecha and all that. And I plan on doing some of that for Titanfall 2 this coming March when we do our March of the Mecha, the sequel.
Awesome.
This Titanfall is different in that it actually has a single player campaign. And I just finished it last night. There's maybe like 8 to 10 hours or so, and it is fucking bananas. Like, it is ridiculous.
In a good way?
Oh, in a really good way.
Okay.
So like it starts out. I will go into some spoilers here because I want to talk about the whole thing. So
Okay.
so just so you know, skip ahead a few minutes. Samantha can put in the show notes when I stop talking about spoilers.
Okay.
Right, that's a thing you can do. I assume it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can do that thing.
So anyways, it starts like super like generic, like, hey, one thing that I liked was that you're fighting for the militia forces, which basically you're just like frontier settlers and you just want to hang out on these planets that you settled. And the IMC comes in and they're like I'm not sure, I think they might actually be a big corporation. Is kind of the impression that I got. And they're like, no, we're gonna, take all your resources and shit. And they have...
Oh, so it's Starhawk.
I never played that, but sure.
Well, that was the plot of Starhawk.
Yeah, but so, like, you're fighting, like, you're fighting for the people, like, you're not trying... Like, you're not fighting against the rebels or whatever, you are the rebels. And you're like, no, man, we just want to live our lives. And so, anyway, so you're just a regular, like, infantryman, and this captain who's a pilot. The pilots are the guys who, like, actually, pilot Titans, and they're like elite, basically. And so, all the average grunts look up to pilots and like aspire to become pilots. They're like the special forces of the Titanfall universe. So anyway, so this Titan pilot captain is teaching you, and like he runs you through like a tutorial mission and everything, and he's like, oh yeah, one day you'll pilot a Titan, and then the first mission starts, and guess what happens to him in the very first mission?
I'm assuming he dies.
He dies and gives control of his Titan over to you. Captain, his name is Captain Lastimosa. He dies, gives his Titan over to you. The Titan's name is BT. It's BT 7274 or something like that, but So the Titan has like a sort of rudimentary AI where it's like intelligent enough to fight and like help you and stuff, but also it doesn't get things like jokes.
So here's a question. If it has a rudimentary enough, if it has a complex enough AI to be able to perform combat duties, why does it need a pilot?
Well, it can, even from the first game, like all the Titans could, like when you brought in a Titan, like in a multiplayer match, they would automatically attack enemies.
Yeah.
And then if you could take direct control by piloting them. They're just like they're most effective when they have a human pilot, basically. There's actually like dialogue, like it doesn't really matter, but there's things you can say where it's just two different options, and some of them are like sarcastic, some of them are like you're just treating BT like a machine, which it is, but some of them are like you're kind of like treating it like a partner. And there's some funny lines like he asks, or you ask BT, he's like, oh, how long were you with Captain Lastimosa? And he says like 900 something days, and you have two options, and one of them is like, that's a really long time, Or the other one is, that's longer than any relationship I've had. which I thought was amusing for somebody who's a rifleman in the military to be saying. So, anyways.
Yeah.
So there's also a lot of, like, platforming in this. Like, Titanfall is very big on like, traversal. You have a double jump, you can do wall running, stuff like that. And there are, like, whole levels where there's, like, a little bit of combat in it, but you're, like, figuring out how to, like, move platforms to be able to wall run to get to other platforms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, you track down this weapon this like, super weapon that the IMC is developing, and it's a weapon that, like, uses gravity to tear apart a planet.
Oh, that sounds useful.
Yeah, so because it uses gravity, it also distorts time. So there's this level that you're going through, and you find this device that lets you basically move between the past and the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets fucking crazy. Like, so there's platforming you have to do where part of the base is destroyed, like, that you're in, and there's, like, fire on the ground, and you have to wall run. But if you go into the past, you can just walk over it, but there's, like, a laser defense grid at the end of the hall. So you have to, like, constantly switch back and forth between the past and the present in order to do some of the platforming.
That sounds pretty cool.
It is,
yeah.
Actually. It's really fun. Basically the final, or the next to final set piece is you're flying on you're basically on like, spaceships but they're flying in the atmosphere, and you're, like, jumping between them. As you're, like, boarding a ship, and you're, like, so BT, like, picks you up and throws you. And it's just, like, absolutely insane. It actually reminded me a lot of that scene in the Avatar movie.
Yeah. Which
was, terrible for various reasons, but that scene where, like, the Na'vi are, like, attacking their airships, basically. It's like that, and, like, and you get into your Titan, and you do a Titan battle on top of the ship that's flying through the air.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is really cool. And then there's this part where you have to wall run on a ship, jump onto another one, and then jump again, and it gets, like I said, like, some of the platforming gets really crazy, and it does there too. And so throughout the whole game as well, there's scenes where basically Titans have, like, three laws of Titan robotics, I guess. And the first one is that they, like, have to link up with a pilot. They have, like, a neural brain link type thing. And then the second mission, or the second protocol, is to uphold the mission, and the third one is to protect the pilot, at all costs.
Yeah.
So guess what happens at the end?
Yeah, I'm guessing the puppy robot dies.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you're jumping into the middle of this weapon, like, the only way you can destroy basically is BT's reactor is going to explode. And so you're jumping into the middle of the weapon, and you're like, okay, let's do this. And BT's like, yep, let's do this. And he jumps in, and then opens up the cockpit, pulls you out, and you're like, what are you doing? And he's like, protect the pilot, and tosses you. And he explodes, and, ends up saving a whole planet.
Huh.
But yeah. And then there's and then basically you got a promotion, and you're getting another Titan, and, like, that's how it ends.
Then it goes into the multiplayer campaign, or the multiplayer.
Yeah,
whatever.
I did some of the multiplayer as well, which is a lot of fun, just like it was in the first game. It's fun, like, just getting around. The environments are fun, and the story just gets fucking bonkers at points. Like, I was totally not expecting any of that. I was expecting BT to die at the end, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, James, what about you? What have you been occupying yourself other than with Garfield Christmas specials?
I've been working through, for the last couple of years, I've been reading Scott Lynch's Gentleman Bastard trilogy. I will pick up a book and then read it, just tear through it in a couple of weeks, and then I kind of give myself space between the books that I'm reading in a series. So it'll be maybe 9 to 18 months before I read the next one. So, a couple years after I read the first one, I'm finally getting around to reading the last one. And it's just kind of nailing home for me, how in awe I am of Scott Lynch and his ability to create interesting, compelling, deeply flawed characters. The main character, Locke Lamora, is just such a clever asshole, and I really, a lot of people are like, oh, I really admire the Sherlock books for how intelligent the character Sherlock Holmes is, and how he's able to solve. And for me, it's like, no, I really admire the Gentleman Bastards book and Locke Lamora's ability to figure out a way to come out on top of any shit show that's thrown at him. It's just so much fun watching them. These books, the Gentleman Bastards trilogy, they're a series of fantasy books that take place in a fantasy world that closely mirrors late Renaissance Europe. And the first book takes place in what's basically like a version of Venice if Venice had been built and abandoned by a long dead race of elves. And then occupied subsequently by humans. And what it is it's these group of men who have been raised and trained since boys to be basically Renaissance fantasy con men. They get a kick out of larceny. It's their favorite thing in the world. Just, doing crime and just having slick escapes from narrow situations. I eat these books up. I love them, and I'm finally getting around to reading the third one. It's called The Republic of Thieves, and they have been coerced into performing thievery amongst the greatest thieves of all, which are politicians. So there has been a lot of dialogue in this book that has made me think like, Scott Lynch, I think you're trying to make this republic of yours sound an awful lot like America. There's a lot of scary parallels to the last two presidential elections going on in this book. But I'm loving the hell out of it, and I would highly recommend it if you're a reader of fantasy.
Well, I finished reading the Infinity Gauntlet comic book. I did. And I have a lot of feelings about it, but I think I'm going to save it. I'm sure we're going to be talking about Marvel and their movie arcs in the next couple of months, however long.
I hear they have more movies coming out someday.
Yeah, I think that this whole conversation will become a lot more relevant when Guardians 2 comes out. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it then. But I also picked up 100-foot robot golf.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought I would want to play a golf game.
I'm not sure either. I almost picked up golf with friends because I thought Samantha would play that with me, and then I was like, no, she wouldn't.
I don't know. I picked up 100-foot robot golf because it had giant robots and stupid anime cutscenes, and then the my brother and me guys doing the commentary. And all of those things I like very much, but there's still the core thing of it being a golf game. So it's been, I haven't been playing it very much. There is a giant robot that you can pilot with a trio of dogs. And that is quite good.
Nice.
But you're still playing golf. So I would prefer to do pretty much any other activity with these dogs in this giant robot, but also John has been playing through Dragon Age Inquisition, and we hadn't really messed with it too much in our house prior. I am amazed. I guess I shouldn't be, but I'm just really amazed at the development of these characters and the quality of the writing in this game. And we haven't finished it, obviously, but
who's your favorite companion so far?
And why is it Solus?
John is a big fan of Solus and whatever, I can't remember the dwarf's name.
He's Varric. Great.
Yeah.
Varric is great.
Varric is the best.
I really like Sarah, but John thinks she's a
Oh, God.
brat. John thinks she's a brat, so.
I don't like Sarah.
She's Tumblr personified.
You know, I can see why you like her.
Yeah?
It fits, actually. She's, I can't put into words why I can see it, but now that you've said that, I can see it.
I just like that she's kind of a snarky, like, elf person who does for herself. I don't know. And she's got cool
she
pants.
is, but she's also kind of got this, like, delirium from Sandman thing going on.
Well, let's be fair also. I don't know her that well because John doesn't like her, so he never hangs out with her.
I didn't either.
I like the Orlesian mage girl because she's really, really hot.
I also hated her.
But you have to admit that she is a very, very pretty character.
She was an attractive woman.
I can't remember her name. What is her name?
That's Vivian.
Vivian.
Yeah, Vivian.
Yeah.
Who was terrible.
But James, she's so pretty.
So who's he romancing?
He's not. He's playing as the female Canary character.
Yep.
And in
what class?
Think fighter. Just regular punch hitter. He's got this great like get over here move with his sword because he's got like chain swords. Pretty cool. But he has decided the way that she acts in her dialogue that she wouldn't get along with any of these people. None of them are appropriate for her to romance.
If it were you, who would you romance?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Actually my favorite character is not available for romance.
Varric. Yeah, I know, it's a tragedy.
No, you're wrong, Samantha. Solus is available for romance.
Why do you think she would like Solus?
Solus is the best.
I don't know. I like
No.
Is it Cassandra's the fighter.
Yep.
And she's available.
And she's pretty cool.
She is
she's way
cool.
too straight-laced. She's like a paladin almost.
Yeah, it was a real tough
fan of.
choice between her and the woman I ended up picking.
Was it Josephine, James?
It was Josephine.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Is she the one who sits in the castle? Is she the one who's
with the clipboard with the little candle on it for light, which is brilliant.
She reminded me a lot of Tali, and Tali was my girl.
Yes.
I like her a lot too. But I have to admit that I don't know, Liliana still is. I broke her heart in the first Dragon Age, and I'm still not over it. I don't think she's romanceable, but I'm just not over it.
She's not.
She's not. Neither is Morrigan.
No, we haven't met Morrigan as far as I know in this.
Oh, you will.
Oh, I thought you guys were further than me.
No, I guess not. He's
Spoilers.
you know how John plays games. He likes to do all of the side quests. So like
you described where he was, and I had no idea where that was.
Yeah,
so I assumed you were ahead of me.
No, he's been doing like all of the Hinterlands quests and like
Jesus Christ, that is the worst part of the game.
You can leave the Hinterlands.
Oh, he knows, and he does, but like he's a completionist and he wants to do all of the things. So that is how he goes about.
I started playing that way and then had to stop because I would never.
Well, and
finish.
I think that's partially why he stalled out in The Witcher, because there's just so much to do.
Also, that
in his own words, the reason why he stalled out on The Witcher is because he really wanted to play the first two games.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get around to that next year. We've been talking about it. He's got them, so he may as well play them, and he's interested in them. I told him he could read the book, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the book isn't, or the game isn't directly based on the book.
Yeah, no, they're just the same characters.
It's like 5 years after the last book ends, from what I understand.
But yeah, have I told you that story about Liliana? How I fucked it up in the first game?
Mm-mm.
I was romancing Alistair because I'm a basic bitch. And but like, Liliana's like sort of flirty, and I wanted to always be nice to her because I really liked her. And then she like came on to me and I was like, whoa, 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 wait, no. And I turned her down and she's like, how could you do this? And she was like heartbroken and totally upset with me for the rest of the game. And I was like, I can't do this. I didn't mean to break your heart. I just really played the game incorrectly. I misunderstood our relationship. So I'm still not over it. And then Alistair ended up being Alistair and I realized I had made a terrible decision.
Yeah. To be fair, Liliana isn't over it either, and that's why she's a stone cold badass in the in Inquisition.
Yeah, she's changed a lot.
She is amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. So, yeah, but that's been really fun. I haven't been playing it. I've been watching John play it, but he's been obsessed. He's got in the past 2 weeks. He's probably put 30 hours into the game. So, which is a lot for us, I guess. But yeah, he's played a lot without me. I've also been playing Pokemon, so there's that. Hawaii is a delightful place I'd love to visit someday.
With their strange animals.
And delicious looking donuts. Oh my god. They talk about their fucking donuts all the time, and I'm like, yes, please.
A Rocket Punch Radio is a giant robot podcast fighting force designed to beat back the evil Lord Ennui and his army of dreadbots. You can join the Rocket Punch Corps by reviewing us wherever you listen to podcasts and checking us out on rocketpunchradio.com or on the Grown Ass Geeks Facebook group. Our theme song was composed by Brent Black at brentblacktunes.com. This podcast was produced by Samantha, and our artwork was created by Jay at Audio Visuals. You can find us on Twitter at Rocket Punch Radio, or Rocket Punch RDO, and also on YouTube, where we post Let's Plays, podcast episodes, and other neat media. Merry Punchmas to all, and to all a good fight!
Oh boy. Good night, everybody.
Good night.